Welcome back to the Cardinal Report. We're going inside the Cardinal corner with the baseball team.
Hi, I'm Dan Coletta, senior outfielder here at North Central College at Zimmerman Stadium after a game today. How about we check in with some of the guys on the team to see their responsibilities after a game? All right, I'm sitting here with senior outfielder Justin Moriarty after the game. They're just taking a cage inside. Where exactly are you bringing this to, Justin?
I don't know. I'm trying to do this by myself. Daniels here is messing up. This is Folly's orders. Not particularly what I want to do after a loss, but got to abide by it.
All right, I'm sitting here with senior first baseman Andrew Wolbecker sweeping out the dugout after the game. Andrew, who did you upset to get to do this job?
I don't know, but this is probably the worst job on the whole team. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, we got dirt. We got the thingies that fall out of the tree that spin in circles.
We got spit. We got pretty much everything.
What's your sweeping technique?
I like the old backhand, the old hockey grip backhand. So that's
the
all.
Hockey grip backhand?
That's where.
Is that what your father taught you to do?
Absolutely. The proof is in the pudding, Dan.
I'm sitting here with senior pitcher Rick Foytek and Mike Kloss. We're just doing a little mound maintenance after the game. Guys, can you explain what you're doing?
Well, there's usually a big hole after the game, so we want to get some clay and fill in the hole, throw some water on it, tamp it in, so when we're pitching out there, we're not falling into a big divot.
How much force do you have to put in through your forearms and biceps to get that to tap down?
As you can see, it's packed down pretty nicely, and this is pretty heavy though. So you just give it a nice, you'd almost just drop it on there, and then when it hits, you just push it a little bit, gets it going.
I'm here with pitcher Trent Anderson, cleaning up a little bit of weeds that have been growing outside the park here. Trent, can you explain why you have to do this?
Well, for one, these dandelions, they emit pollen, and pollen count's really high. So for the guys on our team with allergies, it makes it really tough. Also, they're a tripping hazard, so you want to make sure you take care of these.
Can you explain why some of these don't have the yellow stuff on top of them like normal dandelions?
Well, that would probably be because the wind blew them off, Dan. Just a guess.
Hopefully you enjoyed meeting some of the guys and seeing what they get to do after the ball game. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. We welcome onto the show North Central College Sports Information Director Clark Teuscher. Clark, the softball team's heading to Kenosha, Wisconsin to take on Illinois Wesleyan in Game 1 of the CCIW tournament. This team's ranked 4th in the regional rankings. They've got a 2-4 record against all of their opponents that's in the CCIW tournament. That's Augustana, Carthage, and the Titans.
Yeah, they played all of those teams within the last couple of weeks, and that's not the way you want to end a season. But you certainly have new life once the tournament starts. Everybody's 0-0, so they've got a chance to get a fresh start in a neutral site against Illinois Wesleyan in the first round.
You talk about getting a fresh start, and this is a team throughout the course of the season that Coach Klawiak has been on top of, and he really wants them to play their best softball. But heading into the tournament and into postseason, do you feel like the softball team's where it needs to be right now?
Well, sometimes you have a stretch like that where you struggle, and it can work both ways. It can work against you, or it can kind of sharpen your focus and make you actually play better once you've kind of had a chance to regroup a little bit. Now they've had a chance to do that, and it'll be up to them to see if they can turn that experience into a positive once they get into the postseason.
In last year's postseason success, taking Illinois Wesleyan all the way to the final game of the CCIW tournament before losing, do you feel like that's going to help the Cardinals this year?
Well, it can't hurt. Most of the players that were on that team last year are back this year, so they have that experience behind them. So they know that they have what it takes to succeed and advance in that tournament. It'll just be an issue of replicating that effort for a second straight year.
Tennis team, they won their final home meet of the season versus Elmhurst. They too are getting ready for the CCIW tournament.
Yeah, that was a match they expected to win. The heavy hitters all came through, and then they had some of the guys on the lower end of the roster step up as well. Definitely a good performance as they head into the conference tournament themselves.
Really tough season this year for the tennis team. They played a really hard schedule. A lot of that was to gear up number 1 Sam Sweeney for hopefully the regional tournament.
Yeah, and it's certainly looking good in that respect. We won't know for another week or so whether he actually gets in. But I think it's been good for the rest of the team as well to have to play that top competition, even though their record might not show it. Your record doesn't count for very much in tennis, so it's all about what you do in the postseason. So it certainly looks like they're prepared for what they're going to see here in the next week or two.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with the tennis team in their final home meet of the season versus
it's a big match. It was nice that we had Elmer scheduled for our last match. They're the bottom team in the conference. They got some good players. But it was last match is always good to finish solid, so definitely important match. Deal with it, but a win like this, like as you can see right now, it's really brutal. You almost got to change your game, like it would do a 180. So on one side you're hitting the ball really soft, hoping the ball stays in. On the other side you're blasting the ball. So it's really two completely different games in one match almost.
It's good just to kind of bring the game back and just play a little bit more conservative, during the game, and just play some solid points to build back. To get that 5-3 lead's a lot different than 4-all, and just fought back. Matt played well, and we got through it. Or at least we've been consistently winning. Is 1 and 2 singles, 6 singles, and 1 doubles, and any of the 3, 4, 5 guys can win. It's just that I think that the biggest thing is just to get 2 or 3 doubles, get one of those points. If we get one of those points, it makes a huge difference, because then then we could just split the singles and get the 5-4 victory.
Clark, Boguslavsky and Sweeney, they are #1 doubles. Do you think they have a chance of continuing on in the postseason?
It's looking like they're going to be on the bubble a little bit. There's a lot of good doubles teams in the region. It's just going to come down to a few points here or there in the terms of the rankings and how they're voted by the coaches who do the choosing.
The track and field programs, it seems like they're just cruising to the CCIW championships, and this year it's going to be held at North Central College?
The championships are actually at Wheaton College this year. They'll be Friday and Saturday. Both teams are kind of picking up qualifiers and improving their marks each week as they go, and picking up some new ones as well. So, the rankings haven't changed as much because the other top teams have been doing the same thing. So it'll just kind of have to flesh itself out at the conference meet. And not everybody that has those top marks is going to compete in all those events at the nationals. So you won't have a clear picture of those rankings until you actually just pare it down to who's competing in the national meet.
And Jake Winder was honored earlier this week.
Jake was added to the watch list for the Bowerman Award, which is a national award across all 3 divisions for the most outstanding performer in track and field during the season. He's one of only 3 or 4 Division III athletes that are currently on that watch list. It's certainly an honor to be on that list with the likes of the very top athletes in the country across the board. So, we're not really in a position to realistically expect him to win that award, but it's certainly great company to be a part of.
2-time indoor national champion. He's going for his first outdoor national championship in the pole vault this year.
And he's in a good position right now. He's got the top mark in Division III by over a foot. So as long as he is able to put something together close to that, I don't think he has too many competitors.
Well, lots of CCIW tournament action going on this week. Clark, should be fun to see how everything pans out.
I think so.
We'll tune in next week as we take a look at the softball and tennis teams in CCIW tournament play. NCTV 17 is always keeping you connected with your area sports scene. I'm Jeff Mahoney. See you next time on your community television leader, Channel 17. Go Cardinals.